Broncos country. We are back. We are live. I have got one heck of a lineup tonight. I am so happy to bring you this special edition of Mic'd Up. It is the mid-season extravaganza. I'm calling it. We've got Nick Kendell in the house, Kodiak Broncos in the house. My man David Talks Broncos in the house. David, your buffs today looked promising. Nick, your Iowa Heartbreakers, not so much. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but anyways,
they've lost 3 games this year where they've led each of them with two or less minutes left.
Man,
those are all 3 of their losses.
That sounds
rough.
Kind of familiar to Broncos fans, does it not? Let's let me kind of sum this up for you guys. I totally ripped this 4-person thing off from Mario on cover 4 that David and I did. This is the 3rd time this week David and I have been on air together. I think we did the post game, we did cover 4, and now this. Is it 4? Is it 4 times or 3 times? I can't keep track.
Yeah, you're like my godfather at this point.
Yeah. Just trying to feel as old as possible. Well, welcome to the show, Broncos Country. It's great to have you back. Please check out everyone's shows. I put links in the description, and if I didn't, they will be there. So make sure you check everybody's out, like and subscribe. It helps us all out a ton on the algorithm. What a panel. Wow. Nick's been a minute. Why don't I start with you? Why don't you give me, before we get into the nitty gritty, just give me a 30-second to a minute. How you feeling? We're 8-2. It's just a little bit past the beginning of the season, but where are you at with all this?
I think the Broncos being at 8-2, they got everything in front of them this season. They have a Super Bowl caliber defense, and they have a lot of areas that they can fine tune to still win some games. I know that a lot of times your 1-score games are a 50-50 proposition. So Denver's had as much luck as they've had misfortune with those 2 losses as well. But quarterback play, penalties, special teams, I think it can all get better. And I'm really happy that I love football, obviously, but I think the team itself is, with how many games they played here recently, should be very happy to have, 1 game in the next 23 days. So they need a break. That doesn't mean Twitter fingers won't be flying about everything, but I'm glad they can get a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. They need it. That was a tough run for them any way you look at it. David, good to see you again. Stranger, what has it been? 2 days? What's up?
Yeah, I can't go more than a few days without
seeing me.
Man. Yeah,
I get that. Yeah. My wife probably doesn't agree with you. My wife could probably go 4 days. You can only go 3 days without seeing me. What are your thoughts on the Broncos at 8-2?
Hey, strangely, I mean, it looks different than what I thought, but this team is who I thought they were, man. I thought they would take another nice step this year. Felt like I was kind of going on a limb saying 13-4, but we're kind of like in position to be around that range, man. Again, I thought we would get a little bit more from the offense. The defense has still surprised me with, like, I think they're even better than what I thought. So I think we're in a wonderful position to exceed expectations this year, which is awesome because they were kind of set fairly high for the first time in like 10 years.
Yeah, right. So been saying this all along. Zach's real big on this. This season, the way this season looks is very dependent on what your expectations for the season were. Mm-hmm. If you bought into all the hype and Super Bowl favorite type stuff that, this draft pick is, I saw a show where someone postulated on a certain person's network, said that, no, it wasn't your network. Now that I think about it, it wouldn't have mattered if it was, because it wasn't you. Was like predicted that the Broncos would have 3 1,000-yard receivers this year. I mean, we just get crazy every preseason. Every draft pick, every undrafted rookie is going to be the next, DT or something. It gets crazy, and it sets you up for nothing but disappointment. You go into it with no expectations but hope. Kodiak, good to see you, my man. Last time I saw you, the show got banned. What do you say to the Broncos country? Where are you at 8-2 with the Broncos?
Yeah, well, I just want to say, last time I saw you was on the Engage 8, 2 days before the draft, where Frankie got the show banned. And I have never been on with Nick before, even though we followed on Twitter. So hats off to you, Nick. Pleasure to finally be on with you. David, I'm on with you every Monday, so great to see you again either way. But had you told me that this team would be 8-2, heading into KC, I would have believed you, because I think I had them at 7-3 heading into KC. But I would have thought Nix was a lot further along in his development, and I've said that on a couple shows already. That being said, it still speaks volumes to this team. They are a mentally tough team. I remember coming on with David after the Chargers game, and we were talking about when is this team going to win close against good teams, and it seems like we've done nothing except for that ever since that game took place. But yeah, either way, it's been kind of a weird year. Like, I know that it's easy to be unoptimistic based on what we just saw 2 days ago, and while we shouldn't be happy with what transpired, the reality of the situation is we haven't been 8-2 since 2015, so enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well said. Well spoken. Good start to the show. I do have a few. I wrote down some questions. So before we go to our crystal ball and start trying to figure out what's going to happen next, let's take a little look back. Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. And David, you get this one first. I think I know the answer to this.
Ooh.
Who was your favorite signing that the Broncos picked up for this offseason?
We needed to play with juice, man. Kodiak and I feel like we kind of tag team just spamming this guy with the video every week. J.K. Dobbins, man. We needed a running back to help out whoever we were going to draft, and he was like our latest signing of the offseason, but he has been tremendous in helping this offense have life. Can you imagine where we'd be without J.K. Dobbins right now? It would not be good. Hey, I might give Crawshaw a couple wins as a punter.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
you would.
right. MV punter. You might chalk up a couple of these wins to J.K. Dobbins as well.
Yeah, David, you know that I've picked him as my game MVP at least twice. So yeah, your check will be in the mail. I'll Venmo you. Kodiak, what say you? Who's your favorite signing the offseason?
Man, my next jersey, the next jersey you're going to see right there next to Riley Moss is going to be Talanoa Hufanga, okay? Because even though I love J.K. Dobbins, but Talanoa Hufanga has brought our defense to another level. J.K. Dobbins, while he individually has been great, he has not brought our offense to another level, but Talanoa Hufanga is everything as advertised, and health has finally, been kind to him. Health has finally, things are creeping his way in the right direction as far as luck there. And that's really all it took. And that's why the 49ers moved on from him. Oh, looks like we've lost Mike. But either way, Talanoa Hufanga is by far my favorite offseason signing. And I'd be very shocked if it wasn't the overwhelming majority opinion of this fan base. But I can appreciate the other guys. So my second favorite offseason signing, Trent Sherfield. Kidding.
I didn't ask you who your second was, but thanks anyway. Hey, I actually just exited the stream completely a minute ago. I'm not sure how that happened, but I've got before I ask you, Nick, where did that go? Here we go. Do we have an update on this? My understanding, I saw something on this today that JK is okay. Okay. Has anybody heard anything besides that? So I think it was, it doesn't matter who it was, but it was a credible source because I thought it must be true. Apparently, Dobbins is fine. He did get checked out, and it's nothing that's going to keep him out. Does anybody else have anything else on that?
It sounds like it's not going to cost him too much time, but they, again, one game in the next 23. He might miss the Kansas City game, which would stink because the offense and not having Surtain, but still that's one game. Right?
It won't stink for David because David can't wait for Tyler Burdett to start a game.
I might be pivoting from that take I had on Tuesday already.
We probably won't know until Tuesday or Wednesday, though, officially, and Sean Payton will rope-a-dope, play it coy and everything, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nick, do you got a favorite signing? Of course you do.
It's got to be Talanoa Hufanga. Yeah, it's got to be Hufanga. The energy that he brings, how he's changed the run fits up front, cleaning things up, the energy. Some of those swing passes, eventually one of these balls are going to, he's going to come away with it and hopefully go the other way. He had all the plays on the ball. Was it 2022 and he was all-pro MVP for the 49ers? He's close, man. He's close. Hopefully those takeaways, once they start, they'll come in bunches because right now the Broncos are one of the lowest takeaway teams in the entire NFL, which is crazy for how good their defense is. So hopefully that starts to regress to the median, but it's got to be Hufanga, man. And also just the energy that he brings. I mean, this was a good defense last year, but they didn't really have much of an edge to them. You didn't have that like crazy person that, like he might beat the absolute hell out of you. And I feel like you have that with Greenlaw and Hufanga now. So it's not, and shout out, they have crazy people like JFM and Allen. I wouldn't, want to run into them in an alley either. But those two, and with Hufanga being available, I mean, it's changed the energy. This is a defense not just to be feared because you can't move the ball, but to be feared because they're going to hurt you.
Yeah. It is nice to see that the one missing, well, maybe the other missing part of our defense was that little bit of nastiness. Like the Broncos have never been known as a dirty team. But that no-fly zone, that defense of 2015, we brought in some nasty players to take us over the edge. And
you need some screw loose guys. Right,
yeah.
like Derek Wolf, like it's just like, oh, he might actually beat the hell out of me.
Yeah, he might eat your children, isn't that? Wasn't he the one that said he was going to eat
Tom Brady's kids? I think, or Philip
Rivers. Tom Brady's kids, or something. Yeah. Like that. keep them away from your kids. All right, a tape. Wrong show, Jay. A.T. Perry show. That's altitude adjustment. We don't talk about A.T. Perry here. Yeah. Does anybody know what his number is? Nick, do you know what?
87, baby. Ed McCaffrey. Why isn't he activated?
Really? Still?
Yeah,
still going for that.
He's not muffing no punt.
Just so you know, David said that Crawshaw was like our MVP, and then you saw what happened. He said that JK's always injured. You saw what happened, and now I don't even want to know what you just said because
the Chiefs. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Andy Reid's going to learn A.T. Perry here in a week
in the last game of the season. Yeah, I believe it. Anybody else got anything else on that? Mine's I'm going to stick with what I said before. You guys took the other one. I'm going to go with Greenlaw. He's still my favorite. Limited sample size, but if he stays healthy, I think that's going to pay dividends that we really need. Let's quickly do the draft picks now. Okay. Nick, I'll start with you this time. It doesn't have to be a different one, but who's your favorite draft pick so far?
I think so far for this season, you'd probably have to say Harvey, just because what he's bringing. We all had this all offseason talk about, Ingram, and he's the Joker, blah, blah, blah. Harvey's the Joker. Ingram hasn't lived up to it. If we had a least favorite signing, it'd probably be Ingram because he's just, hasn't really moved the needle much. They haven't really matched personnel with him. It's been an underwhelming signing overall. But long term, this is maybe a niche opinion, but I've been really excited about what I've seen from Q Robinson in short bursts as well. I can never have enough pass rushers. And to have when he's been out there, he's been pretty good. So it's a luxury that this team has long-term to get potentially a depth plus pass rusher in the 4th round. I'm excited long-term about Q Robinson. I think he's got the juice.
There was a point in the Raiders game where we were down to like 3 pass rushers, I believe.
He's been inactive, but he's going to make the decisions a little easier with some of these contracts coming up, I think.
Yeah. And Sethoid agrees with you. David, favorite draft pick? Crawshaw, right?
Yeah, dude. It legitimately is Crawshaw. And again, some people got some issues. Some of my our good friends got some issues with even the idea of drafting a punter on day 3. I get it. But at the end of the day, this was a huge area of need for us. And we didn't address it in free agency with the signing of Matt Hack, most definitely. And he's been phenomenal outside of, I'm going to blame his yips on Sean Payton just not having any practice this week going up to the Raiders game. That's what I'm just going to put on. We are all out of our rhythm. Okay. Crawshaw leads the NFL in punts inside the 20. Sadly, he has also had to take the most punts out of anybody in the NFL because of this offense. But he has been tremendous in flipping field position. The wins that I would give him would be against the New York Jets as well as against the Houston Texans. He was tremendous in those games. He was a weapon, and I think we got our franchise punter here for the next 10, 15 years, baby.
Well, at least you're consistent. I'll give you that. And I appreciate that. Also, before I go to you, Kodiak, David, I'm going to update this video. But I want you to watch it because pretty soon it's going to have you on it.
Not like mine, of course, which are banger after banger after banger after certified banger. I don't miss.
That is totally I just feel like that's you, and then it's just going to be a bunch of pictures of Crawshaw behind you because
Dude,
I like the way you stick to your guns.
No, Andy's saying a punter being David's pick shows his true beliefs of the front office. No. It's not the front office fault that Sean Payton's not giving Pat Bryant more targets.
I got to get an assistant because I'm not used to this many comments. Having all you powerhouses on the show is. I wish I had one of you guys to run this or the ability to do that. Kodiak, talk to us. Give us your best draft pick of the 2025 draft.
Well, I think you're finally seeing the pick come to fruition with our first round pick that shocked a lot of people when it was made. And honestly, we are a team, we are an organization that clearly wants to invest in the defensive side of the ball. And when we picked Sade Barron, I was like, man, I don't know about this. Like, I thought we went way too heavy on the defensive side of the ball in the draft. I thought, man, like, I don't really know why we're taking the strength of our team and not trying to help out our young quarterback. That being said, like, we were missing Surtain on Thursday night, and we did not skip. Okay, yes, he allowed that completion to Bowers, but once again, Pete Carroll said in the postgame press conference, like, he was like, hey guys, we wanted to target Brock Bowers, but A, the pass rush was too ferocious, and B, he was blanketed all night long. So Barron is really, really coming into his own with that role that they have him in right now. While I was really annoyed at the pick when it was made, I get it, especially because our defense has been nails this year. And Barron, honestly, coming into his own is, one of the reasons, that I think we can go far in December or January. Because remember Roby back in 2015? Like, I'm getting those exact vibes from Barron. Yeah.
Yeah. Great takes, everybody. Good picks. I'll stick with mine, RJ. I know that Nick saw my tweet earlier that RJ stands for real Joker. He is the Joker of this team. Clearly. Is he 4 or 5 touchdowns now?
I think 5.
Yeah. He's setting some records that are kind of cool for rookie running backs. Pat Bryant, not he's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
He does not play like a rookie, does he?
No.
Nick, you probably know better, but I said 2 weeks ago, I said it last week, I'll say it tonight. It's not on the list of things, but I want a kind of a yes or no. Does Pat Bryant have the best hands besides Tillman on the team? David?
Yes.
Kodiak?
No.
Nick?
I'll go yes, but with a caveat that I don't think he has the ability to make the spectacular outside the radius stuff. Like Cortland Sutton's inconsistent.
Cortland makes the tougher catches,
Yeah,
but the
exactly.
most dependable hands. Kodiak, who would it be if it's not Bryant?
I think it's Marvin, even though he doesn't really get all the chances to do so. I think, I don't remember him ever dropping like a pass. I remember he did on Saints Thursday Night Football last year, but that's one instance I can think of.
Curious. You know what? That's not a bad call too. I think he has good hands. He might be somewhere between Bryant and Court for me because he does seem like he can make some plays too. Certainly one of our most excited. I think we missed him against the Raiders for sure. That'll show itself out. We need to get him back. We need to be full hand. Everybody on deck for the Chiefs big game coming up. So let's give out our MVP awards real quick for the midseason. MVP defense, Kodiak, you first.
All right. It's really hard to not look at where this starts with the defense. And, I could go Hufanga. I could go Nick Benito, but man, oh man, I promise you this defense is not what it is today without Zach Allen. Okay. Without him being able to take over and be just a force on the interior. Like, this is why our pass rush is so ferocious. Okay. This guy was an absolute Iron Man for us last year, played 1,100 snaps, I believe, and only 60 behind Jalen Carter, who had 3 extra games to pass Zach Allen in snap count, which was just absolutely crazy. But yeah, this defense is not what it is without Zach Allen. He's not going to rack up all the stats. He's not going to rack up, all the quarterback sacks and the pressures or whatever, but he is what makes this defense go.
Love it. Love that take. I probably agree with you there. Nick, what say you?
If it's not Allen, then it's got to be Benito. And it's because he is a closer out there as well. I mean, Cooper is probably the most underrated player on the defense for what he does. But Benito, I always talk about him. He doesn't have every pitch in the arsenal, but he comes in out of the pen and throws 105 consistently. And what do I mean by 105? It's not just pressures, it's quick pressures. He wins, and he wins fast. Coming into this season, this was a tweet as of November 6th. So he has 28 quick pressures on the season. So that's a pressure in 2.5 seconds or less. There's only two other guys who have 20. Will Anderson has 21. Carter has 20. So it's not just accumulating the pressures. It's when he wins, the play is freaking over. It snapped the guys there. So I think a lot of that, again, you got to give credit to Joseph. You got to give Allen, everybody. It's a unit up front. It's not like when you had Von Miller, even though it's unit up front, it's not, first ballot Hall of Fame talent, but Benito is, I think, the MVP right now because those sacks are huge, and how quickly he can get home is crazy.
On pace for 16 sacks, I believe. David, what do you say?
Yeah, well, my first choice was going to be Zach Allen, and my next choice is going to be Nick Benito. So I guess I'll go with,
Hufanga.
Yeah, Hufanga, exactly, man. Second on the team in tackles. He's been tremendous as an emotional leader for us, as Nick's already kind of talked about, and he has been so helpful, especially as we have awaited the return of Dre Greenlaw. He has been so helpful in run support with, probably a below average linebacker group, on this unit until Dre returns. So I have loved every minute aside of one penalty against the Colts, what Talanoa Hufanga has done for us, man. He again continues to bring the traditional great safety play to the Broncos. We always have great safety.
That's right. You're right. God,
I just got to say the hanging fruit was right there. You could have said Crawshaw.
Dude, on defense, I like talking about Crawshaw as a defense.
I'm just saying, you said MVP. Or was it just MVP of the defense or the whole team?
Yeah,
defense.
Okay.
Pay attention, Nick.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Minus points.
Yeah. Focus in, man. This is a tough show. You got to pay attention.
Punter is a defensive position. Let's go. I like that.
It kind of is. Let's go offense. Now, we're not going to dive into the weeds. Broncos country, don't be scared. We're going to talk about the offense a little bit. Depending on your perspective, it's as bad as you think, or it's not as bad as you think. But we're not going to. This is not the show that we're going to do that. This is the big picture stuff. David, we're going right back to you. I want your offense MVP, and I want you to surprise me with one.
It's Cortland Sutton, man. Cortland Sutton.
That does surprise me. Nice,
dude. He's the number one wide receiver, baby, and I feel like he has behaved like one. Maybe he's not Demaryius Thomas. Is that the issue, that he kind of replaced DT, and so people will always look and judge him based on how he looks compared to DT? Maybe that's some of the issue here, but he's on pace for another 1,000-yard season. He could approach double-digit touchdowns again, but he has been tremendous in getting us first downs, coming up with the big clutch catches. Yes, inconsistent hands, but when the moment matters the most, Cortland's always come up clutch, man. And he's he's been kind of like Bo in that way, coming up clutch, making Bo look better in some situations as well. So I can't imagine where we'd be without two guys on this team. I already mentioned one of them earlier on, but Cortland Sutton, he's a captain and he's never complaining, and that's rare for a top wide receiver on a team, man. He's a wonderful leader for us, and I'm glad that he's a Bronco for at least the next couple seasons after this.
Yeah. Court is strangely hated by a lot of people, but I think it's because the team does need a really dynamic playmaker, I believe, or will when Bo really gets into form, I guess I should say. But the T. Higgins catches the you hit him and you don't know if it's going all the way. And maybe that will be Marvin Mims. Sean always says he's got the players he needs. I don't know. I digress. But I think Court. I can't believe some of the stuff I see written about him, and maybe it's because he's not DT or he's not, whoever they expect him to be, but he's still kind of our number one receiver, and he's pretty darn good. Kodiak, give me an MVP for the offense, sir.
Man, so it feels like week after week, whoever runs the Broncos sleeper account is pushing out an agenda, and Andy is basically taking my pick right here as well. It's Garrett Bowles. Okay. The game starts up front, and the Broncos have had, by any metric you look at, the best pass protection in the NFL this year. Coming into this season, with how they struggled in the preseason and how Ben Powers and Luke Wattenberg were lightning rods for fans' frustrations, even before the year began, everybody was like, man, I don't know. Were they actually that good in pass protection last year? We throw a lot of screens. Bo's good at eluding pressure. And while all that is valid, the game starts up front. And think about all the edge rushers that we have just completely erased from all these games. Garrett Bowles has done an amazing job this season. And yes, while our skill position, we've had our guys step up. We've had our quarterback step up at points. But the game starts up front, and Garrett Bowles is legitimately one of the game's best right now. And he just continues to get better, even at age 33.
Yeah, the elder statesman until we brought in a 50-year-old tight end, I believe. Now
Ring of Famer. Future Ring of Famer.
Future Ring of Famer. Yeah. O-line has been stout. Good call there. Nick, you got an MVP?
Yeah, I mean, offensive line.
I'm kicking you off. If you steal mine, I'm going to kick you off the show. So just be careful.
You'll probably kick me off, but I got stats for it. So let me get those in first, I guess. It's probably the offensive line as a whole, right? It's the consistency thing, but the beneficiary of that, and we'll just live in the fantasy football world, probably J.K. Dobbins for it. And I have the stats here for you as well. The Broncos so far this season, they are second in explosive rush rate this entire season. Wow. There's not much that they do very well offensively. They are overall second in explosive runs in the entire league, only behind that of the Jets, who use a lot of gimmick stuff to get there as well. So Denver getting it 8.2% of the time. That's runs of 10 plus yards. So shout out to J.K. Dobbins there. And also the Broncos rushing offense so far this season. They are 12th in rush EPA, which is, not incredible, but don't look at the passing one, and 18th in success rate. So where would they be without some of the red zone design from Sean Payton, shot play design stuff? It's the run game with J.K. Dobbins, who can do stuff between the tackles, which all the other running backs haven't been able to figure out so far, which is key for this team. So I'll go with JK, but the reality is, give it to Zach Strief and the offensive line as a whole. That's where it probably needs to be.
Yeah, maybe. And JK's mine as well. I'm a little higher on him than the offensive line in some ways, maybe. Or I know they go hand in hand, but I key in on him. I think you watch the lines a lot more than I do.
I have to. I'm an Iowa fan. Otherwise, I would hate football.
Right. And you probably still have to hate football after today. But I don't watch the lines as much as I should. I never claim I'm an analyst. I do like to watch the playmakers more. I like to watch the defensive backs more and the linebackers. The offensive line, I leave those intricacies to you guys. But I do see a good job from the O-line, but I see really hard running and great vision and decisiveness from JK that we haven't seen in a long time. He's my MVP for the offense as well. And but yeah, obviously he wouldn't have that without the O-line. So everybody's right except David.
And just to that point as well, I did want to give you one stat, just because I'm a stats guy. I'm such a nerd. The offensive line obviously runs things up front for the run game. You can see what's going on with Genty and the Raiders this season. But there is an interesting stat called rushing yards over expectation. So what's blocked up, and J.K. Dobbins is fourth in the NFL so far in rushing yards over expectation, behind Jonathan Taylor, James Cooks, and Rico Dowdle. It's pretty close with Vidal as well, but that's a small sample. We'll disregard that one. So yeah, Dobbins is. The offensive line helps, but he's making them look good too. Yeah,
I agree. I don't understand any of those numbers, but they sound really cool. Thanks, Nick. Let's do special teams because we have to. They are a third of the team. David, since you're the only one that'll have an MVP for special teams, who could it possibly be? The long snapper, I'm assuming?
No. No, not at all, man. It's Crawshaw. That's the only answer. Darren Rizzi, has this team playing like I don't know, just playing terrible. We've seen terrible special teams, man. Crawshaw has overcome it. Rizzi tried to curse him on Thursday. But he got through it. Crawshaw has been incredible. And hey, we're in that Tom Ruin 16. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love it. Kodiak, what say you, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight, because I want to talk to you about somebody who's not going to show up, pretty much anywhere you want to see.
Only for a 15-yard penalty hit out of bounds, right?
Exactly. Okay. And while I was dumb, forget Hufanga. Maybe Mitchell Fraboni is my next jersey. Okay.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
All the clutch kicks that we've had that have gone through the uprights this year, man, they start with the long snapper that apparently you're not allowed to put your hands on the back of, while you're going for a block and field goal protection or whatever. But Mitchell Fraboni is my special teams MVP, because you don't have to think about it, and he's just money every single time. Okay, whether Crawshaw boots it 80 yards or whether he puts it off his knee, okay, and it goes like 10 yards downfield, it all starts with Mitchell Fraboni and his awesome snaps. So that's my special teams MVP.
All right. Well, I love that. I actually love that answer, Kodiak. Nick, give me yours.
It's probably gotta be.
I want stats to back it up. And if you steal mine this time, I swear, that's it.
Well, it seems like there's an obvious other one, so I'll just go with the joke one here. Can I go with Skinner's face mask one? That's God bless him. Special teams finally made a play, and maybe not all of them. He's making some stupid penalties out there, but the face mask, God bless you, Skinner. We'll take that one.
That was actually a good call. I think it looked like a good play that they ran there. It looked blocked the minute that play started. So as much as Darren Rizzi is on my what list, we'll credit him that, and we'll credit the face mask for the block. I'm going to go with Mims as mine. I would have taken, if you'd have taken Mims or Lutz, I would have taken the other. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Lutz. My house is a pretty big fan of Lutz. He's had to, with the way the offense is playing, Lutz is an important part of this team. So credit to him. He hasn't been perfect, but you know what? No one on the team's been perfect. So I like him. Now let me get rid of this banner. I want to do something real quick while I got you all. David, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell everybody what shows you're on, what you're doing? I can't keep track of you. You've got 3 seconds to do it. Go.
Okay. Well, David Talks Broncos on YouTube. I post pretty much every day. I stream with Zach and mic'd up for every Broncos postgame. Okay, sorry. Do I keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the play clock. As long as I haven't looked,
okay. Yeah. Just don't start counting yet. My ADHD. My Empower Hour, Horsepower Hour. That's what it's called.
Horsepower Hour.
Night with Kodiak, with Marquee Sports, with Jeremy, and Strez on Thursdays with Broncos Hub. But yeah, if you just want a perspective, and I'm mic'd up when you have me on. But yeah, and if you like college football, David Talks Buffs. That one's a little bit bigger of a channel, but you get to see a different side of me. Right now, it's a little bit sadder, but not sad after today. We played a little bit better. So
we got a little juju in your system today.
That's right.
Juju, little juju hope.
And guys, we're free from Pat Shurmur. I'm finally free from Pat Shurmur calling an offense for one of my teams. Finally. We should never have him around Colorado ever again. So, you can find me over there. Twitter is David Talks Buffs. And, I just love the community that we're building with everybody. It's a lot of fun.
Kodiak, you've got your channel, the Kodiak Bronco. You are also on the Horsepower Hour. What else you got going over there on your channel?
Yeah, of course. So obviously Kodiak Broncos. I do put out some content mid-season, but the long form stuff, I think I'm way better in the off season. So during the season, I just try to keep it, rather brief. That being said, I am on TikTok, and short form is quickly gaining a lot of steam in Broncos country. So head over to TikTok, and if you want to argue with the 500 people in my comments that want to blame Sean Payton's play calling or argue about whether Bo Nix is absolutely trash, then head over to my TikTok. It's the same on here at Kodiak Broncos on YouTube. Yeah, 1,500 on TikTok, 1,200 on YouTube. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe to all these other channels for all these fantastic men on this panel tonight as well.
All right, thanks, man. Nick, you're building the Broncos for breakfast. Are we still doing a couple lineup changes, but everything's how's Carl doing?
Carl's doing good. Yeah, it was good to see him the other day at the Giants game when he was out here in Denver. So that was fun. I tried to entice him come out to the Raiders game. I guess probably good for his own health that he didn't do that.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I do Broncos for breakfast. We are going to be switching our time because I'm out in Denver now, so I can't do the 5 a.m. I got to make sure I get into my science job on time.
Right.
So we're doing Monday and Fridays for that. And I also do a Falcons show with Scott Kennedy, founder of Scout.com, longtime NFL Network as well. And we cover the Falcons as well. And then also building the Broncos Tuesday nights with Carl, writing for Mile High Huddle over at Sports Illustrated. I've been doing that now for about a decade, I think.
Yep.
The Bulls draft was the first one. So, yeah, I'm aging myself there. I wear the hat so you don't see the gray hairs. But no, we're here. Yeah, we're still doing fine.
I'd have to wear a face mask to hide the grays. Yeah, a ski. Thanks a lot. That's it. You're muted. All right. That's the past. That's what's happened. Let's get into on the second half of the show. Why don't we dive into actually, let me do one more thing. I just want quick answer. David, what was the most impressive win of the season for you for the Broncos?
Eagles, they're still number one in my power ranking, so the fact that we beat them is tremendous. Love
that. Kodiak, what say you?
Giants. I was there at the stadium, down 26-8. Didn't think we could do it.
One of the funnest games. Nick, you go Eagles.
I'm gonna be
maybe
really analytical and annoying about it, but it's probably Houston. That's the one team that you might have some stuff up in front of you with playoffs down the line, some tiebreakers. It's a conference win as well, so those that as fun as the Eagles and the Giants are, doesn't help you as much at the end of the season with the conference tiebreakers. So I'll go with the Texans, and that's a team that I really do not want to be seeing again in the playoffs. So I'm happy to have the tiebreaker and to be pushing them down one.
Yep, I got the Texans as well, and that's enough about that. At least I'm gonna take Raiders here. Nick, what about you?
The Titans, man, they just played like absolute butt for that one. I mean, Bo Nix that was his worst game of the season. I know what a lot of people are saying, but he was putting it up left and right. They couldn't do much of anything. That was just ugly. We've kind of seen what the Titans have been like. I think this Raiders defense is feisty. I think Patrick Graham is a pretty good defensive coordinator. It was ugly. I get it. Primetime that makes it worse. But that Titans game was just an abject, terrible game from everybody besides the explosive runs. Again, coming back to the explosive rushing from the offense, but that was horrible.
Yeah. David, what about you?
Yeah, the game I was least entertained with has to be the Titans game. And I know you could say the Jets, Las Vegas, honestly, I love those games. Dude, I love those games. They were ugly in an entertaining way to me. So it's got to be the Titans. Bo Nix threw 3 interceptions that game too. Not good.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, Kodiak.
Well, you guys have said Titans, and while I'm okay with chalking that up to week 1, even after how things have looked for us this season, the Jets game was a joke. That was just an absolute joke. And the reason it was a joke is because the Jets literally had the worst defense in the league coming into that game. And while we beat the absolute daylights out of the Cowboys and Bengals, who had the 2 other worst defenses in the league, we somehow were hanging around with the Jets. Felt like they were starting at the 50 every single time, which really, I think that's when people were starting to get alarmed by Rizzi. We got the holding penalty in the end zone, and that's what allowed the Jets to take the lead. But, that was just absolutely disgusting. And it was just disgusting football to watch. Yes, it was great seeing our defense tee off, but Justin Fields, get ready to learn CFL, buddy.
This is third team, right? So he's had his Drew Lock career. He's had his chances, and now we'll see what happens with him. I know there's still people who love to say that Drew never got an opportunity, never got a chance. They say the same things about Fields. You fall in love with a guy and you see what you see. I get it. I understand it. Yeah, good. I think we're at a good spot here. I think it's time to do we've got to dive into the one conversation. This will be the only serious conversation we'll have tonight, and then we're going to wrap it up with some fun predictions and stuff. So hang with us here for a second, but we do need to talk about Bo Nix. We do need to talk about Sean Payton. What's going on with this offense? I've personally gone back and forth. And I sometimes think it's just got to be a combination of the two. The marriage is just a little bit off, but I'm leaning more towards there's a Bo issue. The more film I watch. Now, I did talk to David about this a little bit before we went live. I watched that NFL condensed version of the game, and I was not watching all 22 or anything. I still saw Bo hesitant to make throws that I thought were there. What was that? Is it cover 3, Nick, that they were playing a lot? The Raiders.
Okay.
They
have a lot of heavy boxes too. Yeah.
Right. So cover 3, heavy boxes. So they want us to pass, and I thought that there were some lanes there, and I thought that Bo was double pumping a little bit too much. Didn't look comfortable. But all in all, I'm not going to lose any sleep over Bo Nix's future yet. I'm staying in the camp where he gets this year and then next year, and then unless the wheels just continue to fall off, we're going to go forward with that. So long story short, or a short story long, I've babbled on. Nick, what is going on in the layman's terms, in your opinion? Bo Nix is regressing. He's in a bad stretch. Is there a simple answer to this, or is it just too deep?
I mean, he's drowning right now, is what it looks like. From reading the defenses, he doesn't trust what he's seeing, and his mechanics have gone completely haywire. I mean, they've always been kind of little happy feet, but right now he's really pressing, and some of the confidence that you saw with him, specifically at Oregon, with the quick game, getting the ball out and the accuracy, it's not there. I mean, even that everybody's, rightfully so, jumping on Sean Payton for that Cortland Sutton pass. It was a bad pass. I mean,
right.
Bad pass. Like, what are we doing? Not giving us guys a lot of help. Now, granted, could the Broncos have more of a go-to guy along with Cortland Sutton in the pass game? Could be a running back, could be a tight end. I don't care. Wide receiver. Sure. But you're never going to have a perfect roster around you. And I also think everything is a little bit amplified right now because, we have questions about J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix. That's not a team that has a Super Bowl caliber roster
Caleb
around them. Yeah. So, because the Broncos are, good around him, all the stuff about, he's just a 1.5-year quarterback. Okay, well, defense is volatile year to year. Offensive line's volatile year to year. This might be our best shot in the next 3 seasons, or especially in this rookie quarterback contract window. So it's not necessarily fair to Bo Nix with that perspective compared to some of these other second-year quarterbacks. But no, I think Sean's dialing up good stuff for him, and he's bailing on the pocket too soon, or just not firing it, or sloppy mechanics from the lower body, and then leading to accuracy issues. So I don't know. I don't think it's a Sean Payton design issue. Maybe sequencing sometimes, but not design.
Right. So and what I always tell people is play design and play calling are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody's showing the touchdown stuff for Bo Nix. Give 50% of that to Sean Payton. I don't know anybody who's getting as many wide open goal line touchdown passes as Bo Nix. I mean, credit to him. They're executing, but chef's kiss to who's drawing it up, because these guys are open.
So that's kind of my point, Nick. There's a lot of people questioning Sean Payton, and I think when your team has this many penalties and things going wrong, it's just as fair to, when you question Rizzy, it's okay to question what Sean Payton's doing. But watching the offense, rewatching the games, it looks like a lot of the plays are there, and I don't know what the read sequence is, but the play designs are still there. He still has it. Where I think he is struggling is getting cute still. Sean can't help himself, like the 3rd and 1 backwards pass kind of stuff. That's just one example. He gets cute with his play calls. I hate that. But I'm also a fan, so when they work, then I love them. So I'm a sucker for him too. So David, what's going on? Bo versus Nick. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think probably the biggest difference statistically right now with him compared to last year is that he's completing 9% less against zone coverage. He was at 69%.
He's struggling against zone. He's better against man, clearly.
Well, he's actually 55% against man, but that's
No,
fine.
he's better in most respects against man coverage. Than
Yeah,
he
I
is
always
against
feel like
zone.
he's always been better.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was just what I was looking at. But he struggled against zone coverage this year. I think a lot of this is when you talk about Sean Payton, the play designer versus the play caller. I think a lot of this is mental with Bo, because I mean, I went and rewatched a couple games today. It's like you can see when his footwork is good and his mechanics are good and when he's confident in what he's seeing, man. I think so much of this is mental. To me, it just seems like Sean is giving him everything. He's carrying the entire load. He seems to be operating better when that load isn't as high or it isn't as large. You're getting to the line with more time. You're not subbing personnel nearly as much. You're going up tempo, 2 minute, all the sorts of things. Again, I think Sean has to do a better job of helping Bo get settled down. And I put some of this on Sean Payton because the entire offense has been clunky. It's not just Bo Nix. It's everybody jumping off sides. It's everybody holding calls. It's our wide receivers being second in the NFL in drops right now, only next to the Jaguars. The entire offense. It's not just Bo. Sean has to be better with getting the entire offense to play consistent, because once Bo's throws are on, we're dropping them. Once we're able to run the ball, it's a holding call or a delay a game or, something like that. Or we don't get lined up correctly. The whole offense has been a mess. Nick, you might be able to help me out with this answer. But when did Bo Nix go to the armband last year? Because I felt like when he went to the armband, that helped things. But hopefully over the second half of the season, we can just kind of simplify things a little bit more for Bo. But I'm curious if you remember the armband.
I don't remember the armband. I remember armband gate with Russell Wilson, but I don't remember exactly what happened with Bo Nix last season.
Okay.
And somebody else put it out there. I don't know if it was Chase Daniel, but is he playing hurt? Because it just he looks so uncomfortable out there.
Yeah, maybe it has to do with some injury.
I don't know. Maybe Kodiak.
Well,
Kodiak.
Okay. Everybody is right in the sense that there is not one singular blame you can put the abject failures on this offense on. Okay. I'm sick of seeing the weapons, not help our quarterback out. I'm sick of seeing, false starts, holding penalties, that 2-minute drill first half we picked up 2 big third downs and they were both wiped out due to penalties, self-inflicted penalties. So at that point I was fine with the arm punt on 2nd and long or whatever, but, it is primarily on Bo Nix, and I'm here to tell you why. Okay. You look at how many times there is a play to be made, and he's just leaving so much stuff out there on the field. Okay. And yes, does everything around him need to be more consistent? Sure. It's absolutely ridiculous, some of the stuff we're seeing, with still being late to the line of scrimmage, and we're in game 10. Like, what's going on with that? We're still just making, preseason mistakes, and the fact that we're 10 weeks into the season is absolutely ridiculous. And Sean Payton, I think the play calling is completely fine compared to what everybody else wants to say in my comments on TikTok and YouTube. Granted, I'll give you the 3rd and 1 to Sutton. Okay, I'll give you that one.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah,
I'll give you the 4th and goal screen to Sutton against the Giants.
I'll take that one as well.
Yeah, but what I won't give you is when there's a wide open check down to Evan Ingram on the second offensive play of the game, and Bo Nix just doesn't hit him for whatever reason. If he throws with a little bit of anticipation, he potentially has Franklin for a 93-yard touchdown. And yeah, I know you could have, would have, should have, but our quarterback is leaving a lot out there. And the thing I'm most disappointed in this past season is that last year we were hitting explosives. Like, we were still going 3 and out at a disgusting rate last year, but we're not hitting the explosive this year. So yeah. And like I said, a lot of that can be tracked due to the fact that last year we beat the nuts off of a lot of bad teams that we should have. And we're doing that this year too, but we should have beat the nuts off the Raiders, should have beat the nuts off the Jets, and the offense is a big reason why we aren't been able to do that. And I put 70% of the blame on your quarterback. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to figure that out. I'm not in the building with him, but I believe, okay, And Sean Payton is one of the in-season GOATs at adjustments, so I trust him above all else.
I mean, that's the thing, guys, right? There's enough problems to go around. We can choose which one we want to talk about, which one we think is the biggest. It's penalties, it's dropped passes, it's Bo not, trusting himself. It's all that stuff.
I'm with Jeremy on this one. How could we expect things to look better from the Texans game when we ain't practicing?
Why don't I see that comment? Where is it?
Oh, you just highlighted it. Here we go. You're not allowed to have a pen.
Oh, it starts with "Here we go." That's why, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I saw it was you, and then I just quit reading because it's Jeremy. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love you,
But,
Jeremy.
yeah, looking back, man, like that's the risk taker with Sean Payton, man. Doesn't like to practice for those Thursday games.
Well, he doesn't take the league begged him to take a bye week after the London trip. He chose not to do that.
I'm glad he chose not
cashed
to.
in, he won it. It worked out. Go ahead, Kodiak.
I think this is being blown out of proportion because per the CBA, you're only allowed 14 padded practices during the season. So I think, yes, it's valid to say that it's a short week, divisional rival, whatever. Houston, you probably don't want to play them in a short week against the division rival, but I don't really buy the no practice thing.
Really?
Did it make it tougher on the guys? Sure, but per the CBA, you're only allowed 14 padded practices during the year.
Well, are we practicing without pads?
I don't know.
Those other times, right? I thought that we were just dressed into doing.
They do walk through practices.
Well, they do walkthroughs, but I don't know the practice.
I don't like walkthroughs.
That's all I have to say is that I'm not really buying the no practice thing as much.
The Raiders practice. They play a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, I said the Raiders were going to come in there and they were going to play harder than the Broncos to try and win that game, and they did, but they didn't win. So we're happy.
It's not just the Raiders game, too. I mean, it's
That's
overall
true.
Bo's sample. Everybody's jumping right now because it was a primetime game, but he's had struggles this year, and there's been flashes that you can hope on. But I'm looking at his stats, not including the Raiders game, and his EPA per play falls down to 18th, and that's really highlighted by him not taking sacks. And his success rate is the third worst in the entire NFL. Now, granted, every single stat in football is a system stat to an extent. I get that. You're highlighting Bo Nix touchdowns. Guess what? System stat as much as the EPA and all this. But it's not the Raiders game. I think it's really amplified right now, by the talking heads in the media. But this is a pattern that if we exclude the Raiders game, it's been volatile this season. He can get better. There's enough to hope on. He's a fine quarterback for the rookie cost control. Obviously, we're 8-2 because of the rookie cost control, and he's out there. And there's a lot that he can improve on. But you go back, watch the tape, like Kodiak was saying here. There's simple plays that he just needs to execute on, and that'll improve so much. And he's just not right now. Do we have to clean up things around him? Sure, obviously. At some point you move from excuses to reasons.
Yeah, and they get past. We got a little mini break now. They got some time to work on that stuff and get it going. That my example on this whole thing would be the that lame throw to Ingram on the left side of the end zone, wide open for a touchdown, and Bo pumps it and doesn't trust it, and then throws it in the dirt with his feet 2 inches apart. It was just crazy, ugly. But enough of that. We are 8-2. Happy to be here. This is as good as it gets for the last decade. So we're nitpicking. We have problems, but we're winning. So we're going to go with that. And with that in mind, let's pull out. Let's do a little fun prediction here. Now, I'm not going to hold anybody to this stuff unless they're wrong, and then of course I'm going to bring it up and tell you guys how wrong you guys were. But let's do. Should we just stick to the Broncos and the AFC West here? Make it easy on you guys. We probably should do that. David, let's start with you. Now, I think if I remember right, you and Strez had them as the number 2 seed in the playoffs this year. Now, what do you say now? What's your predictions for the AFC West, specifically the Broncos? Where are they going to land?
I thought this was our division for the taking from the start of the season, so we're right on track.
Yeah.
And we'll see how we look here in a week or so when we face Kansas City, because I think we are built to beat Kansas City. And everybody worried about Bo Nix needs to see, hey, Patrick Mahomes ain't completing 70% of his passes either, okay? All right, now he does get explosives, all right? But we're going to sweep Kansas City. That was my prediction this year. We're not scared of Kansas City. We're not scared of them like previous teams were that would just bend over and take it, man. We do not fear them, and we got the personnel to give it to them twice before the playoffs, man. So
Not like mine, of course, which are banger after banger after banger after certified banger. I don't.
All right, sorry, man. I'm gonna get that made just for you. Yeah,
that was
I
great.
love it. Number 1 seed. Did you say we're gonna be the number 1 seed? Did I miss that part?
No, I just said we were going to win the AFC West and
Okay.
go on a playoff run. You know, I'm not putting it on us to win the Super Bowl, but hey, if the offense can get semi-hot at the right time, the defense can carry you a long way.
Chat, I need you to put your predictions in there too. As far as AFC West, where do we finish? Kodiak, you're up. Broncos, where are we finishing?
We're going to win the West. All right. I'm with David on this one. And, I think we are going to beat KC in one of our 2 games. Now, it might not come next week, but the good news is that I think that even if you do lose next week, the team's going to have a sour taste in their mouth heading into Christmas night against Kansas City. And I think, our defense is built to play with our offense, man. So I think the task becomes really, really tough if you don't have Patrick Surtain. That being said, we just match up with them so well. And I think the outside noise right now, this team's going to come in with a vengeance. All right. This team's going to come in with a vengeance. Mile High is going to be rocking. That crowd's going to be absolutely insane because they're going to understand that this is a huge game for the team. And yeah, we're going to win the West. I feel pretty good about saying that. Commanders absolutely reeling right now. Even if they have Jaden Daniels, they're just reeling. Raiders in Vegas, I think we're going to take that one as well. We might drop one to the Packers or Jaguars. I don't know. Because the NFL
Better not be the Jags.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't see us going 14-3 or 15-2 to finish out the year. I think this team's just not built for that. But we have another game against the Chargers. I'm not worried about the Chargers. They're down both Slater and Alt. I think, we should have beat them week 3. I think things are going to look a lot different this time around. So think we're going to win the West. And I feel decently confident in saying that. So that is my crystal ball prediction.
All right, Nick, you're up, buddy. How's it really going to go?
Oh, man.
And I wrote down exactly what you're going to say already, so I know what you're going to say. So go ahead and prove me right.
What I will always promise you guys is I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but what I feel.
Yes.
I think the Chiefs are still going to win the West. I think that until you knock them out. Have you guys ever seen Jeepers Creepers, where they roll over the monster 4 or 5 times? Yeah. That's Kansas City to me. I mean, they're never dead. So for me, I wish we had the show a week later. If we beat Kansas City at home, step on their throat, we can do it. But this Kansas City team, they're as explosive as they've been in a while. They're a different offense with they have Rashee Rice. And with the Broncos, not just Bo Nix in the pass game, but the penalties, the special teams as well. I don't know. At Denver also, coming into the Houston game, I think they had the 32nd out of 32nd ranked opposing defensive schedule coming out. So the easiest one in the NFL. And then we've seen these last 2 games. Offense maybe not that good because we had the easiest schedule in the NFL for our offense. So I'm going to take the Chiefs for now still. I think that it's really unfortunate. We have J.K. Dobbins. He might be out this upcoming game. We know Surtain's going to be out. I hope they step on their throat here. I really do. If they win this game, we got the division. I really do believe that. But I think I saw from DVOA as well, the Broncos' chances of making the playoffs drop to 40, or winning the AFC West drop to 49%, depending on this game coming up. So this is a game. I mean, this one really matters. Obviously for the Broncos, they have a cushion, but the Kansas City Chiefs schedule is not too much of a gauntlet coming up too far after. I know they have the Colts still ahead as well, but I think I'll have the Broncos going 12-4, but I think the Chiefs get the tiebreaker in the end. And also for you guys counting at home, I said, what's the most important Bronco win? Houston. Chiefs right now don't have the Broncos. A lot of their wins right now are NFC opponents. So if the tiebreaker comes at the end of the year, could be an issue for the Broncos.
Yep, all true, and I agree with Nick here. First seed is on the table. But Mario said this with us Tuesday night, David. He said that if we don't beat the Chiefs in this upcoming game, that the Chiefs are going to win the AFC West. And I kind of push back, but now I'm gonna say, yeah, we need to win that game. I am still scared of the Chiefs at 5-4. They are a better team in most ways. Their winning record is not as good, but I still think they're one of the best teams in the league.
Yes.
We need to beat them, and it's going to be a little tough sledding with what injuries we've got. Pat's not going to be there for that game. A torn pec's no joke. So my prediction is, I'm still going to go with my prediction, though, that we are going to win the AFC West. And I think the Colts will probably hang on. Does anybody think the Colts will hang on? I think they're going to fall back, or is anybody going to steal the South from the Colts?
Nobody's going to steal the South from the Colts, but
okay.
I think the best offensive line in football is the Buffalo Bills. And I know they had that really ugly game against the Falcons, but I think people are sleeping on the Bills right now. And the
Thursday night game, by the way. Thursday night game.
I know. I just figure we might as well just do the four divisions.
Yeah, divisions.
I think I'm going to take the Bills, although they're not as scary as they used to be. I think the Pats are living on love right now. I think the Bills will end up creeping up and stealing that one back. And then I don't know if there's enough time in the North for the Ravens. So we might see the Steelers out of that. Those four. Anybody got different four than that?
Yeah, I had the Patriots winning the.
You think they'll hang on to it?
Division before the season. Yeah, I know that they've had a cupcake schedule, but I think they're a very well coached team. So,
Coach of the year.
Yeah,
Table.
yeah. Give me New England, and I'm gonna hope Baltimore can beat the Steelers. Man, I would love to see them catch up, but Steelers winning this week was huge.
And don't the Steelers have I thought the Steelers had a really big game coming up, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't have any of that stuff from me. Kodiak, that's your job. You got that in front of you, but you
Chargers.
said you have the Chargers. Yeah. So we need, so we're rooting for the Steelers right now to beat the Chargers. And I think that's a good matchup for the Steelers, honestly. I think they can beat a team like that, especially with the issue that the Chargers are dealing with, and their defense is kind of starting to get after it, like you would expect a Steelers defense to do. So, go Steelers this weekend. Kodiak, who wins all four? You agree with David, or do you have a completely different?
I think Buffalo's going to overtake New England simply because Buffalo's been there, done that. New England they remind me a lot like our team last year. Granted, they're probably better than we were last year, but they're probably going to drop a couple of games that they probably shouldn't because of the fact that it's new, new coach, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback. And while that hasn't really seemed to matter at this point, Drake May did look a little mortal last week against Atlanta. So I think the Patriots take that one. And I think the Ravens overtake the Steelers. Okay, the Steelers are not that good. And, I think they still have 2 games left to play against each other. And I think Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, they're really going to start to heat up. So, yeah, give me the Broncos, Colts, Ravens, and Bills for the division winners.
Yeah, and it's early. I mean, there's a lot of football left to be played, but I think we're all pretty close in agreement there for what's going to happen. I kind of like that the Pats team this year. I kind of like Drake May.
Me too.
He's been fun to watch. He makes NFL throws. He's exciting. He's getting beat up a little bit, isn't he, Nick? Isn't he getting knocked around a lot? Last I saw, he'd been sacked like 16 times.
He takes some hits. He plays a lot like Ben Roethlisberger. He's a big guy. He bangs around in the pocket a bit, and he hunts vertically. He is a little bit prone to get the ball knocked out in the pocket as well. He's got a little bit smaller hands, so maybe for a playoff matchup that might come into handy for the Broncos. But no, I mean, there's people that I respect that are saying Drake May first half of the year MVP so far. That's how good he's been. So I think we'll see some regression there because, again, the sample has not said that he's going to be that historically, but he's been unbelievable. So I do expect some regression from him and specifically the Patriots defense as well.
Yeah. I like the I love what I saw with the Bills, the way they played the Chiefs in that last game. Great game plan against them. I don't know what it means, but I was still worried that the Chiefs were going to come back, and that game shouldn't have been close. That's how dangerous that Chiefs team is, and that's why this next coming game is just hugely important for the Denver Broncos. But we're 8-2. Guys, the last time I don't have it in front of me. Shout out Zach Seegers. He had, I think he had since 1966, every time the Broncos have been 8-2, when you woke up the next weekend, they were 9-2. So they some weird stat like that, crazy stat, very close to that. Like they just always go. So this is let's hope we keep that rolling. I got a lot of comments in here, guys. I'm so sorry I didn't get to all these. But thanks for everybody in the chat. I'm just not as good as these guys at running the chat and running the show at the same time. They all have personal secretaries and producers. I don't have one. I gave Chewy the night off because it's Saturday night and he had a date. So it's just me in here in the studio alone. And but I couldn't ask for a better panel. Thank you all so much for coming in. I think we've got I think we can all agree this is the most exciting Broncos team we've seen in a decade. Warts and all. But I said it before, I'll say it again. There is not one team in the AFC West that doesn't have problems. They all do. Every fan base is worried about their team just as much as you're worried about our team. I think our team's gonna do something special this year. I'm not calling Super Bowls, but I think we're winning a playoff game this year, guys. Yeah. And we'll break down. We'll get a little closer to the end of the season. We'll figure out who's in and who's out, and then we can start doing matchup. I think if the season ended right now, we'd be playing the Chargers as 3-6. So that'll all change. We're gonna have to beat the Chiefs. It still goes through the Chiefs, but the Broncos are back, baby. Nick, thank you so much for taking the time to come in. Welcome to Denver, by the way. Glad you guys got all moved out. I see you still got boxes you need to unpack, so probably get those done tonight if you would before your wife gets back.
It's her stuff. So absolutely
not. Oh, it's her stuff. Okay, so yeah, what do you care? All right, David, last words. What do you got for everybody? Tell Broncos country why they should be happy.
Because we got a great freaking football team. We got the chance to win a Super Bowl. And guys, you don't need Bo Nix to be playing superhuman MVP football for our Denver Broncos to win a Super Bowl, man. The 3 Super Bowls we won, they're all at the tail end. Peyton Manning couldn't even feel his right hand, man. And we won a Super Bowl. You want to talk about other quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl that aren't, day one, instant Hall of Famers? There's plenty of them. But hey, let's talk about Russell Wilson, right? Hey, you can be a work in progress quarterback and still win a Super Bowl. Heck, even be on the verge of going back to back with a defense like this.
I knew I could count on you, David. I know I could count. Now I think you're probably about to give Nick an aneurysm, so I'm going to go to Kodiak next.
Yeah.
Kodiak, what's your last shout out to Broncos country? Final thoughts after talking about all this stuff. What do you say to them? 8-2.
My final thoughts are: look how handsome our cats are. No, I'm kidding. It speaks volumes to where we are now. Okay, yes. 3 years ago at this time, we were a poverty franchise. I remember the restaurant I worked in, the defense would come in all pissed off on their games after Sunday, and the local media, they'd cut off from Sunday Night Football, and they'd show press conferences, and the defense would just be irate. It's not like that anymore, guys. Okay, we're actually winning these games, and the culture has shifted in Denver. Okay, even just a short time ago, I remember me and David coming on here after the Chargers game being like, when are we going to figure out how to win close games? We know how to win close games, and we can beat the nuts off of bottom feeders. We've seen them do it, pretty much the entire past year and a half. So there is so much right with this football team, more than there is wrong. Okay, I don't know what the offense is going to look like for the rest of the year. What I do know is that our defense is absolutely incredible, and defense travels. Okay, our defense will keep us in any game. And, the run game will keep us in any game. And I trust Sean Payton. Okay. Sean Payton is the most important man in the Broncos building. Yeah, we don't get him without Greg Penner, but I'm willing to die on that hill. And Sean Payton has been there, done that when it comes to leading a team to a Super Bowl. Granted, 2009 was not off the backs of the Saints defense, but things will be different this time around if we can get to the promised land.
Yeah, well said. It sure would be easier if Bo and the offense could get it going, but we've seen the Broncos do quite well with mediocre quarterback play and excellent defensive play. One thing I try to remind everybody, I was there for the Payton arm falling off stats were really bad, but he still got them in. He got them in the right looks. He got them in the right plays. He was a big part of why they won that Super Bowl too. It was ugly, but he was still doing all the other stuff that he did extremely well. That Bo's, a second-year quarterback's just not going to be able to do. Bo's going to have to play better. Nick, finish us out with Happy Nick.
Yeah.
Nick.
I have a big picture. The Broncos there's the 4 pillars of any team building in general. It's the ownership, it's the front office, it's the coach, and it's the quarterback. I think Denver for sure has 3 of the 4. I think jury's still out on Bo Nix, big picture, but rookie contract, we got another year and a half, 2.5 years before we have to answer that one. And he's good enough right now. Now, granted, again, expectations change when your team's good around him, but right now he's played well enough and he's got enough tools to be given ample leash. And all we can do is hope for the best there. Short term, there is no team in the NFL that is better along the lines of scrimmage than the Denver Broncos when it comes to the offensive line and
Both
the defensive line. That there's nobody who matches up. So I know that Denver's going to have some issues scoring points sometimes. I'd love to get more takeaways. I'll keep hammering that one. But football games at its core, quarterback makes all the money, but you win up front, you're going to have a chance in every game. And there's no team that's as good on both sides of the line of scrimmage as the Broncos. So they got a chance every week.
They do. And the Denver Broncos have won every type of game so far this year. They've won the Texans sort of old-fashioned, beat each other up, tight games. They've won the high-scoring shootouts. They've had a blowout. They've had the heartbreaking loss. One of those two, they should, coulda, woulda. They should be 9-1. The Chargers beat them on some, great play at the end, but that Tillman leverage play called on the last is just whatever. So 8-2 is good enough. It's an amazing change. It's amazing how spoiled we get. But Broncos country we should be celebrating right now. Yes. We've got a break. They've got some time now to work some of this stuff out that we're talking about. They know they have a problem. This isn't a mystery to them. It's not like we're all the ones screaming about it. They know darn well that they've got problems on offense and they want to fix it. I think they're going to fix it. I think I agree with David. This team, if you have to play a game, the Broncos can find a way to beat anyone in this league on any given Sunday. They can. There's not one matchup where I would say, well, there's no way they're going to beat this team. That was not true 2 years ago. Now I'm like, hey, man, if they do just a couple things, they can beat this team. They've got that good of a defense, and they've shown they can do some stuff on offense. So I'm very high on the Broncos. I'm super high on this panel tonight. I loved having all of you guys in. Thank you all for coming in on a Saturday night. Let's go, guys. What is up with that? So much. We got to find the time when we can. We're all, except Kodiak, we're all busy. Kodiak just sits around waiting for the next live stream. But Broncos country, thanks for tuning in. And thanks again to Nick, Kodiak, and David. Go Broncos. Be happy. The wins are coming. They're going to keep coming. We'll see you next time on Mic'd Up and all these other shows. Peace, everybody.